Alright guys, so Tesla has finally given us the round steering option back in place of just purely the yoke, and I think I really know the real reason why, but we'll talk about that in a few moments here. Let's really just get to what Tesla's revealed yesterday, and there's quite a few things here. Of course, there's going to be specifics on the China decrease in pricing, but we'll talk about that in another video. As for this video here, let's talk purely on the yoke and the steering wheel and see which one's better and see what the options are available to you. Alright, so right away you can purchase one with the option of a yoke or a round steering wheel directly on Tesla.com. You guys can scroll all the way down to the bottom here and select either one, and they are both included in the price, so you don't have to pay any extra if you want the yoke or the steering wheel. But if you do go into the features detail, you'll see that the yoke is the only thing that's highlighted in all its benefits. But of course, there's a lot of other reasons why the yoke is not good, and the reason why you should pick a steering wheel over the yoke. Alright, so the first thing you guys want to note here is that even though you select a steering wheel, you are not going to get any of the stocks back. So that means all of the benefits of simply just muscle memory of flicking on and off. You won't get that. You'll still have to deal with the stupid taptic system that's in place on the steering wheel. There is no physical buttons on there either. So whatever you see on the yoke right now, you're going to see exactly the same, except that the top portion of the yoke is now covered in some kind of material and leather. Now, if you guys just picked up your Model S or Model X and you do want that steering wheel option and it wasn't available at the time you purchased, you are able to retrofit this for $700, and this is available in the start of March 2023. That means that a service advisor would be able to just guide you through the steps, and a mobile tech is going to come out, replace it, and likely they will have to flash the firmware or give you guys a specific firmware update to let the system know that you are using a steering wheel now instead of the yoke. Now, why this is so important is that you can't simply just unscrew it and then place the steering wheel on, because the system and the UI overall has to work together to let you know exactly which one is currently tied to the car. So let's say the UI for the climate control pops up. You're going to see here that it shows the steering wheel versus the yoke, and it's probably going to work with the climate control system just so it bends the airwave a little bit differently so it doesn't block you, because now there is a physical object right in front of it. And then of course there's a couple other things here and there, like when you turn on autopilot, you're going to see the yoke versus the steering wheel icon, and how the little details here really does matter to Tesla. You don't want it to show one over the other when your car does not have it. Now, a few other small little things here that I've noticed, and it's just a little gripe of mine, is that the airbag vane, I'm not sure if it's there anymore on the steering wheel option of it, but from just a quick preview of it, it doesn't look like we're having that little vane issue anymore, but we'll have to see it in person until we can actually see if Tesla has rectified this issue or not. But let's talk about this little small icon that I noticed right at the top left here of the screen. It's not as clear as you guys think, but you will see that it is enabled in one of these pictures. I'll have an overlay of me just clicking it back and forth here for you guys to see, but it does show that with the steering wheel it is disabled, and then with the yoke it is enabled. Now, it could just be because of how the picture was taken during that time and this feature was disabled or enabled. It looks to be like it's just a high beam, but because this is a rendering, I don't know why they couldn't just render the exact same image with the steering wheel instead of the yoke. But it seems like they purposely added this icon on for whatever reason it is. We'll have to dive deeper into that. But if you guys do know, let me know in the comments below. I'd appreciate that. But other than that, there is a small little thing here as well, and I think it might possibly be just the shadow. But when you do click left and right between the yoke and the steering wheel, you will see that the leather on the side door here does change a little bit. I'm not too sure. It could really just be the shadow, but as with just a rendering, I'm not sure why Tesla would add this in, and it's not simply just a photo taken with actual shadow in place. But like I said, they are very detailed, if you guys can see with their overall UI and even on the app. They do take little certain things into perspective when they want to make it just right. So yeah, now with this being an option, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you be picking up a yoke or would you be picking up a steering wheel? It's really preference at this point, but I do think they are losing out a lot of customers that are older in age that don't want to learn how the yoke works. I do find it very interesting that everything is activated on the steering wheel using haptic instead of buttons, and even just going forward or backward now is using camera base instead of having to use the shifter. And slowly the camera is going to be able to do everything, so you're not going to have to touch the screen or the steering wheel at all. We know that is going to be the future, but as of right now, the steering wheel is a very crucial part in driving. So I think a lot of people here, they're not willing to adapt to the new yoke system, and there are a lot of car companies trying to play catch with Tesla here, although it's not the right step to go. I think the overall hand-over-hand system that we typically are used to in a parking lot or in narrow spaces is much better using a steering wheel over the yoke. But like I said, guys, there's a lot of people out there that are using the yoke and they've gotten used to it. The only real issue now is probably the haptic system of turning left or right or using the honk or anything like that. It can really get annoying, and I can imagine how annoying it is when you are in a dangerous situation and you simply just want to mash on the horn and you actually have to look for the icon somewhere on the steering wheel and get it to the correct spot. But enough of that, let's talk about the real reason why I personally think that Tesla is finally giving the option after years of saying that the Yoke is so much better and that it does not block the UI, the instrument cluster right in front of it. But they are bringing it back now, meaning that it is going to be blocking the instrument cluster, it's going to be blocking the Havoc system, and a lot of other things that the Yoke is beneficial is no longer going to be there because they are giving this option. Now, although I'm making it seem like the Yoke is better than the steering wheel, trust me, I'm really not. The steering wheel has so many benefits to it. Like I said, hand over hand, the steering system, and just overall the memory muscle that you typically have is there. But the real reason why I think that Tesla is bringing it back is because they've had so many complaints of the texture and the peeling of the Yoke that a lot of people have been happening just months after picking up their vehicle. Now, it's really hard to explain on video if you guys haven't already seen it yourself, but take a look at these pictures right here. A lot of people, after just owning the car for a month or two, you will see peeling. You will see peeling at the spots where they typically hold and rest their hands. You'll see it at the top left and the top right, and this is exactly where you'd hold it. And you typically see it at the bottom corners of each side as well, because I think that these are the main spots that you hold on to when the system is activated into FSD beta or autopilot. Now, a lot of this has to be contributed to just the oil and the material that's being used here. They're not really using real leather, they're using faux leather. So that means that it doesn't repel oil as well as just typical leather that you see on most other cars out there. They're trying to be very vegan friendly. So I think this is the downside here, because the steering wheel is the main place that you're going to be holding onto most of the time. And they got to put a material that's a lot more durable than what is currently on there. Now, even with the faux leather in place, you will notice that those places are indications that the material in the steering wheel is not holding up very well. And with the round steering wheel in place now, they are going to give you options of where you can hold it to rest your hands, and it can slide through your hands when FSD beta is currently on. So it does not mean that you're resting at the exact same spot every single day that you are in the car. Now, another thing that contributes to peeling as well is the fact that when FSD beta is currently active, or when you are doing self-parking, when it spins, because of the shape and how wide the yoke is, it's gonna touch onto your legs and onto your jeans or onto your shorts or whatever it is, and it is gonna take material off every single time. Now, of course, you're not gonna notice right away because the material slowly gets smaller and smaller and thinner, but you will notice over time, and then eventually it'll get to a stage that looks just like this. So I think this is the main reason why Tesla is finally caving, and they are giving the wheel option back. And it's really difficult for most people to say the yoke anyways. Steering wheel just is the natural thing that you want to say out of your mouth every time you want to refer to the steering control. But the steering wheel is finally back, and I think if I were to have picked up a vehicle like this, I'd pick the steering wheel over the yoke anytime. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and would you guys be picking up the yoke or the steering wheel now that it's an option? And would you guys be doing the retrofit for $700 now that it's going to be available in the next month or so? So anyways guys, this should be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, you know what to do. This is John once again. Peace out.